The Canon R5 is bursting with features and top-of-the-range functionality. They have thrown a lot of stuff into this tiny little body. You've got a stabilized 45 megapixel CMOS sensor that can reduce camera shake by up to 5 stops and up to 8 stops with a suitably stabilized RF lens. It has upgraded dual pixel autofocus 2 with 1053 autofocus points and 100% coverage of the whole frame. It has Canon's Digic X processor, so it's super responsive. It's fully weather sealed so that you can shoot out in the rain or in damp conditions. The multi-function bar of the EOS R has been replaced with a joystick over here, and that lovable scroll wheel from the 5D series has also made a comeback. And today we're going to take a closer look at the Canon R5 and 10 reasons why you might want to think about getting one. Point one is something that Canon users have requested for a long time, and that is IBIS, in-body image stabilization. And the Canon R5 is Canon's first camera to incorporate 5-axis IBIS. This not only enhances your ability to shoot stills at slower shutter speeds, but will also reduce camera shake when shooting movies handheld. And coupled with the optical stabilization that you already get with a lot of Canon glass, you have a perfect recipe for smooth, handheld camera movement. One of the biggest gripes with the Canon EOS R when it was released was that it only had one card slot, and professional shooters were put off by the fact that they couldn't shoot to 2 cards simultaneously. And this was fixed in both the R5 and R6 when they were released, where they have 2 card slots for professional shooting. And this is our second point. In the R5 you get a standard SD card slot, and also you get a new card slot for the pricier CF Express cards, which you will need if you want to shoot some of that 8K footage and higher frame rates in 4K. The next point is high-speed continuous shooting, and the R5 offers continuous shooting at up to 12 frames per second using the mechanical shutter, or up to 20 frames per second using the electronic shutter option, both with continuous autofocus. And if you think about it, a lot of us shoot video at 24 frames per second, so we're getting extremely close to video frame-by-frame shots. So you can shoot fast-paced sports, race cars, lots of things with action, and ensure that you don't miss a thing. And talking about missing out, don't forget to add yourself to the KaiCreative Facebook and Instagram feeds, where you can stay up to date with all of our photography, video productions, camera reviews, and general goings on. Following up from the continuous shooting is our next point, and that is the advanced autofocus system, which can detect eyes, faces, heads. Again, this is especially useful for sports photographers tracking fast-moving subjects, and also a new feature is that it can be set up to track animal eyes too. Now the R5 has 1053 automatically selected autofocus areas compared with the paltry 143 of the Canon EOS R, and it has 5940 selectable autofocus points covering 100% of the frame when using the face and tracking mode. Now, no review of this camera is going to be complete unless we talk about the sensor, and this is our fifth point, the 45 megapixel full frame sensor. Now, this allows you to shoot with a native ISO range of 100 up to 51,200, and with expandable ranges from 50 up to 102,400. And of course, shooting raw images with this camera is a real treat. You have those gorgeous Canon colors that you can just pull out, and if you shoot with native Canon RF glass, you can get some razor sharp images, perfect for the professional and the serious hobbyist alike. Point 6 is dual pixel RAW image processing. In dual pixel RAW mode, the EOS R5 allows photographers to perform incredible adjustments to the images they shoot in post-production. You can adjust the sharpness position, the bokeh, and the lighting in portraits. So if for some reason that incredible autofocus leaves you with some images that have softness around the eyes of people in your portraits, you can correct that to get sharp focus in post-production. It also allows you to play with the lighting in a photo. For example, you can make it look like you have a fill light on your subject, as well as add clarity to the background and even shift the bokeh in your pictures. Point 7 are the lenses. RF glass is a big pull towards these cameras, and a lot of other brands are still playing catch up with Canon's glass. And the RF lenses have been created to work specifically on the R series, so pairing R bodies with R glass creates a perfect combination for your creative projects. And of course, you can get yourself an adapter to use legacy glass if you want to, especially if you've invested a lot of money into stocking up on EF glass. Now let's talk about the video options, and number 8 on our list is about the high frame rates for video. And this is something that Canon has been playing catch up on for a while, but we finally have 4K at 120 frames per second, which is a massive step up from the EOS R, which only shoots 1080 at 60 FPS. And of course, the big one, the full frame internal 8K raw video at 24, 25 and 30 frames per second. Now, one thing to bear in mind about these recording options is that they will require that you use the new CF Express cards, and those currently cost about $180 to $200 for a 128GB card, about $150 to £200 in the UK, depending on the brand. Point 9 is the 10-bit 422 internal C-Log on there as standard. C-Log extends the dynamic range of your camera and makes it possible to properly color grade your video creations. And even more recently, Canon released a firmware update for C-Log 3, which not only adds more flexibility to footage captured with the R5 as a standalone camera, but should also make it easier to color match R5 footage when used in conjunction with Canon's Cinema series of cameras. And it's really reassuring that Canon is releasing firmware updates that are unlocking the potential of their newer cameras, giving you more bang for your buck, but also future-proofing the R5, which gives more confidence to consumers like me and you. The 10th point for me has to be this: the 3.2-inch very angled, fully articulating, touch-sensitive LCD, which has 2.1 million dots. And coming from a background where I used the original 6D, the 5D Mark III and the Mark IV, I didn't realize how awesome a flip-out screen was on a full-frame camera until I got the Canon EOS R. It literally changed the way I worked. It just made it so much easier to create these types of talking videos, and this is something that solo content creators who want to film themselves will find extremely useful. And of course, for other professionals who work in photo or film, having that screen really helps when you're shooting at low or awkward angles. And the team at Canon have decided to keep this both on the R5 and the R6, which I think is a great decision. Well done, Team Canon. So who should consider getting a Canon R5? Well, this is currently Canon's top-of-the-range mirrorless camera, so definitely professionals in photography and film will be interested in this as a possible option for work. If you're looking for something casual to vlog with, then this might not necessarily be the camera for you, but saying that, if you have the cash to splash, then why not? And probably the most limiting factor for most people looking to get this camera is going to be the price tag. It currently retails for £4,300 on the Canon UK store, and actually a lot less on the US store. It's selling for just under $3,900. And it's not just the price of the unit itself, but you also need to consider the additional cost of the CF Express cards and also the cost in memory. If you're looking to expand to 4K or 8K filming, that's going to require a lot more backup space, so you're going to want to invest in some extra storage to the tune of several terabytes, if not more. And also, what kind of machine are you using to edit with? Will it be able to cope with the editing and rendering of that kind of footage? Even with proxies, it might be something you need to consider. So all extra things to think about before you pull the trigger on this Canon R5 camera. So what do you guys think about the Canon R5? Is it on the top of your wish list, or do you think it's overrated? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you found today's video useful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and also if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that little bell for notifications. So that's it from me today, guys. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, stay creative, stay safe, imagine, implement and inspire, and I'll see you next time on KaiCreative.